Hi everyone, this is Christopher Kai, and this is the second book I'm reviewing for the Billion Dollar Club. This book is called From Stilettos to the Stock Exchange. Inside the Life of a Serial Entrepreneur by Tina Aldatz. I just met Tina at a speech last week, and she was a very inspiring person. Whenever you think, oh, I didn't have it good, I didn't have a silver spoon, here's a girl who grew up in LA. Her father was a gangbanger. Her father was a drug dealer. Her father used to abuse her. Her mother was an alcoholic. So she had all these things that were not on her side. She didn't make excuses. She didn't play the victim. She was a victor. She used that as a crown. All the different challenges she had in life, she used it as a crown. So with all these books, I'm going to profile these entrepreneurs. In her case, she ended up selling her company for $14 million. You heard that right. How can a high school dropout ended up selling her company for $14 million and becoming a multimillionaire and writing a book about it? So the 7 specific takeaways that I want you to remember, look at my notes right now, is first is misfortune can be the seeds of your mega fortune. In her case, when she was in 4th grade, she literally was with her aunt and she walked over some coal at a beach, and that created a very strong sensitivity in the soles of her foot. And the product that she would create in time was called insole products, which she created these products for high heels for women, but that company ended up being sold for $14 million. So the first takeaway is your misfortune can be the seeds of your mega fortune. Next one is this: build solid industry experience. She actually used to work for Victoria's Secrets as well as BCBG. She had over 6 years experience there, so she understood the retail market. Next takeaway is know how much money you might need. When I hear about entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, they're always like, oh, I need to raise this much, I need to raise that much. And if you literally ask them 6 questions more, they don't really need that much money. So make sure you know what money you need, what the money is going to be allocated for, because oftentimes you can just find strategic partnerships. Next takeaway is find industry support. When she finally had this actual idea, she went to one of her friends named Maggie, and Maggie at the time was working in the industry and she knew a lot of different things that Tina might not have. And so she checked with some of her industry experts, and when the industry experts said, you know what, this would be a great idea, Tina jumped on that opportunity. The next takeaway is have a solid foundation. Now this is important. You know, when you fundamentally break down business, it's marketing, operations, sales, and the actual service or product you create. It's easy to look at the actual sales or the service part of it, but it's also about the operations and the marketing, especially the operations, all the compliance issues, all the technology issues, all the things that you might need, the bookkeeping. That's important to build that infrastructure, because without that, you can't build and scale your company. Next step is put everything on the line when it's necessary. In her case, she had tons of debt at one point and she had orders, but she needed to pay the bills. She literally flew to Ohio where this factory was, which was creating her actual products. And she implored them and told them, you know what, I really need your help. She ended up convincing them to be a business partner, and that business partner ended up helping her. Now, what I'm saying is she didn't have to fly to Ohio. She didn't have to be so honest. She didn't have to be so vulnerable, but she did because that's who she was. She had grit and she had character. She had persistence. Lastly, the closing statement is this. I'm going to read from her actual book, and it's very powerful what she says. What she says, and what I hope you remember, is this. Despite how challenging, painful, or embarrassing it might be, I know that I am all the better because of it. I didn't know that an accident on a beach left the soles of my feet with 3rd-degree burns would, decades later, be the impetus and inspiration for the insole products that I would create. There is never really a way to know what moments in our lives will go on to become major life-changing influences. I've learned that rather than to judge and be ashamed of those moments, to be open and to embrace the possibilities that may come as a result of them. If she did not embrace those possibilities, Tina would not be a successful multimillionaire serial entrepreneur. She started a new company called Savvy Traveler, but I highly, highly, highly recommend that you read this book if you're an entrepreneur, especially if you're a female entrepreneur or if you're Latina. If you ever wonder, oh, I can't do it, well, she did. As I said, she was a high school dropout, but she had all this grit and she had support from her mother. But the point is, just do it, okay? Great talking to you. Please subscribe to my channel, and I hope these help you a lot. Put some comments down there if you have any things you want to add. Thank you so much.